Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
Today, we are going to discuss about the post-installation configuration, how to change the parameters. Then we are going to discuss about little bit about users and authorization rules. We will cover these two topics. And I will add one more topic, monitoring. Topic monitoring because basis consultant meant task is monitoring task. After installation, what we have to do, you are able to. After installation of SAP system, we have to perform some run the T codes to check. First, we have to check the consistency. Check consistency of system running ISKK. Like when you go to the doctor and doctor is going to check you whether you are well or not. Well, you are sick or not sick. First, we have to run the sick transaction. We will let us know whether there is an inconsistency problem or not. Then I will show you each and that task. Then we have to apply the license, apply license. We have to apply the license. We can use this transition code as license. Everything is T code, here apply the license. After installation, we have to apply the license because we have to request for the license and then we have to apply the license. As license is the T code with this. We are going to apply the license. We have to create client. We can create client. Like we can create clients as we can run the T code. SSE4 to create the client. Then we can change parameters as per our company requirement. We have to change the parameters. For changing the parameter, we can run the transaction code RZ11 and 10 RZL11 and then we have to create users. We can create users using transaction code as user01. We can create roles using transaction code PFC. All these things we are going to see today. We have to check the consistency of the system, applying the license. Create the client, changing the parameter, create the users and create the roles. These are the tasks we are going to see today and we are going to cover the users and authorization also. When we are going to install the SAP system, we get the 3-month time to apply the license. We have to request the license. We can request the license from SAP site and we have to tell the SAP that this is our system. ID system instance number server detail SAP. SAP will give it license in a form of text file. Now we are to run SIC's SEC CT code to check the consistency. What did you think? Initial consistency check. No, I don't sleep water. No errors reported. SIC, is that the code? You are going to check whether it is. That is the first we did. Then we have to apply the license. We have to apply the license If there is any error, it will list. Is it? Yes, it will come here. If consistency error. S license is saying that I have installed on 16th May. It is valid for 90 days. Temporary license is activated. You are able to see. It is valid for 3 months. It is valid. In between, I have to request for a license. How to request? We can go to support.com site, and there we can apply for the license. Request for the key is here. Are you able to see? Request for the keys. Here we can, but it requires user ID and password. You cannot request the keys for, like, you are working for the GSC company. You cannot request the keys for Aramco, Saudi Aramco, or Indian Oil Corporation, or Boeing or other. You can request the keys for your own organization data. That is why you have to log in. And then you can request for the keys. You have to log in with your S user ID. You have to tell SAP what is the system ID, what is the server, what is the instance number. SAP will give you a text file. After getting a text file from SAP, you can install the keys. Here to install the keys. You can request the license keys on the marketplace. After getting the license keys, you can import the license keys. Install new licenses option here. It will ask for the text file. The text file that you got it from SAP, you can just install here. You can just select that file and it will install the license keys very simple way. The text file will appear and the original license will be showing here. Your license will be in the text format. That text file, you will get it from the Gmail account and you download that to the server, and then you can select this file and then you can implement. In this way, we can apply the license. License, then create the client. By default, we got 2 clients. By default, we got 2 clients. By default, we got 2 clients. Triple 0 and 001. 01. 000, we cannot do anything. 000 is known as reference clients. If customer don't want to create client, they can work in 001 client. Suppose SAP is giving 2 clients by default, 000 and 001. If customer don't want to create a new client, they can work in 00001 client. 000 client cannot be used for productive purpose. 000 client is known as reference client. Whenever we have to apply the support packs or any configuration related things, we have to do in 000 client. Like we have to set up the transport and other things. We are going to do in 000 client, 000 client. Whatever settings we do in 000 client, it is going to reflect in all clients. Suppose your GSC have the operation in Qatar as well as in Saudi also. GSC want an 100 client to be set up for UK. Suppose they have the operation in UK also. We can set up the new client using the transaction code SCC4. By default, we are having 2 clients in SCC4. T code. We can see we are having 2 clients. 000 and 001. These are the two default clients when we are going to install the SAP system. We got two default clients, 000 and 001. If customer don't want to create client, they can directly work into 000 client, 001 client. But suppose customer want to have subsidy in different countries, they want to set up a new client for each of the country. They can create using SCC4. It is not mandatory activity, but it will depend on the customer requirement. We can create a new client also. I am going to create a new client. New entries, client number 100 GHC UK City London, logical system, currency UGDD. Client role. Whether testing client supports this role of client would be testing. You will be having a testing team in UK. We can make the client here. Now the client is created. Whenever we are going to now we will be having SCC4. We are having 3 client in TR system, 0, 0, 01 and 100 client. But can you log in into 100 client? No, because you are the employee of GSC Qatar, that is 001. You cannot log in here. If you want to log in, I have to create your user ID into GSC UK. Your user IDs are specific to the client. You have seen how to create client is fine, able to. Now, after that, we have to change the parameters. To change the parameters, we can use this one RZ10 and RZ180 code. Suppose how many sessions I can open. Now you are able to see my screen. How many sessions I can open? Now you can see here I am having only one session here. Now I'll try to open many sessions. My next session. You can open from here this I can hear one more session I have opened. I have 2 sessions open. Now I will open a new session. I will open another 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 session. Another session. How many maximum session I can open? I am just trying to do that activity. What it is saying? Are you able to read? What it is saying? Maximum number of CPGI session. Maximum number of CPGI session reads how many sessions are opened. Individual user can open. It is maximum 6 session individual user can open. I want to increase this limit. I want to increase it to 8 or 10 because I am a multitasker. I will be doing multiple tasks simultaneously. I can open multiple sessions and I want to reduce the number. I can reduce the number. I want to because in this way, if a user is having multiplication, it is going to consume lot of memory. You can run the transaction code L08. I am logging with user ID DD. You can see how many sessions a DDIC user has opened. Are you able to see how many sessions a DDIC user has opened? Yes, 6 sessions it has opened. It means he is consuming memory high. Are you able to see memory? DDIC is consuming how much memory? This. If I am having multiple sessions open, it means I am consuming a lot of memory to the system. We have to restrict this value. A user could not open multiple sessions, or it can open multiple sessions, but a limited number of maybe 2 or 3. He cannot open 2 into. We can change the parameter. To change the parameter, we can run the transaction code RZ11. In RZ11, we can change the parameter. The parameter to restrict the session. You can check what is the parameter name. Either you can search in Google or you may be having remember what is SAP. This is the parameter. R is maximum mode. You can use the parameter R is max ALT mode to restrict the maximum number of external sessions. A user is allowed to open in one login. I will copy this parameter. Go to RZ1T code, put it here and display. Are you able to see? Minimum value is 2. Maximum the user can open 16 value 16 session. And now the default value is how much? I am going to change. I am going to make it to 3. I am going to make it to 3. I am making it now 3 sessions. A user cannot open more than 3 sessions. Changes has been made. Now I will log off and try to again log in, and then I am going to log off. Now again going to log in into SAP system. We can change the parameter. As per our requirement, we can change the DDI. Now I will try to open session. Second session. From here I can open the session. Now I am having 2 sessions opened. Here it is showing TR in bracket. It is showing 2 sessions are open. Now trying to open another session. Now it is a 3 session. Now again I am going to open a session. Are you able to see? You got a message that maximum number of GY session. This earlier it was 6 session is coming. We can restrict the number of sessions to the user. We can change the parameters. Now we will see how to create the users and rules. Now we will see how to create the users and rules. These are the some host installation tasks. You have to check the consistency, apply the license, create the client, change the parameter, create users and those. Now I will discuss about how to create the users and roles in SAP system. First we are going to discuss about how to create the users in SAP system. We can create the users in SAP system using SULT code. You can see here, now I am going to create a user ID with my ID, and then you have to create a user ID with your name also. Now I am going to demonstrate how to create a user ID. To create the user ID, we can run the connection code SUL1. You are able to see my screen. You see here, then I have to type the new username. Now I am going to create a user ID with my name Sanjay, and then this is a create button. Create button. I am creating a user ID with Sanjay name. It is saying that no default company address has been maintained in the system. Create an address. A company name is not maintained here. Only this is one time. This is one time I am just creating because I have not created other users' time zone. Now user Sanjay. Some important things when we are going to create the user. ID last name is mandatory. Other things you can leave, last name is mandatory. Last name is mandatory. And then you have to go to the logon data and logon data. You have to specify the user type. We have 5 types of users: SAP dialog user, system user, communication user, reference user, and service user. Only dialog and service user can log in into the SAP system. If you make as a dialog user have to change the password, while service user need not to change the password. Dialog user have to change the password when he log in into the first time. Service user, no need to change the password. I am going to create a service user. No need to change the password, and I give a password. Then, after logon data, I have to go to the role section here. Role section. Under role section, I can grant some roles as per some predefined roles are there. There are thousands of predefined roles are there. Like SAP Basis Administrator, SAP AWS Data, as SAP Finance Controller, or the either you can use. You can see there are several predefined roles are there. Like SP, suppose we will see. SAP System Administrators, AP System Administrator. We can use this predefined role, or we can create a role by ourselves and we can grant this role to the user. From here we can grant the role. I am granting this role to this user system administrator role. And I am granting the authorization profiles. Under profiles, when I give SAP and SCO, all it means full authorization. Role contain the menu item as well as authorization, while profile contains the authorization. I have granted this as a menu item. What is the menu item between becoming in the basis, admin and profiles? He can perform all the tasks. After that we have saved this user ID got created. Now user ID Sanjay got created. After that, yes, sorry to interrupt you. This under role, which other, I don't know, we call it as activities or T course. The user has access as per system, and how do we see that? See, there are several predefined roles are created by SAP Basis Administrator. We map that to a particular user. Now SAP Basis Admin has this role. How many different activities or menu items are included as part of this? How do we go and see? Yes, That's why I am telling you when you have granted that we will cover next to our next topic. We are not created like cover the role. Next topic, we are going to cover the role also. I will cover the role also. I have. Just I'm trying to create first user ID. First you try to create the user ID. You should understand how to create the user ID on I am going to tell you how to create a role and we are going to include the roles there. First you try to create the user ID. We have created a user ID. Even you don't give any role, you just go to the profile section. Under profile section you go and you grant SAP underscore all profile. This is a predefined profile that contains all system authorization. After that, when I have granted this one, the user ID got created. Now I can log in into the SAP system using user ID Sanjay password India 7575. Now enter this. I was mistyping. Now I am able to log in as a Sanjay. Alias is. This is the menu item. This, are you able to see the menu item? Yes and yes. This menu item is coming from the role. Yes, menu item is coming from the role. If I have not granted this role, user will not be having the menu item, but he can perform all the tasks because he is having the full authorization which is given to him. Now I am going to run L.8 and we can see which users are logging. Now you can see Sanjay is also logging. Sanjay Didik user 3 is logging. Now you can try to create a user ID. I am going to document how to create the user ID. You can try to create a user ID. After that, I will explain how to create the roles and profiles. You should passable to her user ID for different client. Yes. You have to log in into particular client. Only then you are going to create a user ID. You cannot create a user ID of Sanjay from 1001 client to 100 client. You have to log in into that client. Suppose we have a system Tian system here. You have to understand like this. You are able to see my screen. I have TAPI Dio client. We have Zaldawan client. I log in here into 1001 client with user ID Didik, with user ID Dixie and I go and run as user1 and I created a user ID Sanjay. Sanjay got created here only in Daran 1 client. I cannot create the Sanjay user ID in 100 client from Zauran 1 to create the Sanjay user. I have to log in into 100 client and then I can create the user ID in 100. User IDs are specific to the client whenever we log in into, whenever we are there, wherever we are running the T code SUSER1. The SUSER1 we are running in 1001 client. We can create a user ID in 1001 client, not in 100 client, not in TIPAO client. Now you have to do the task. I will document the task. You can perform the task created user ID. How are we going to create user ID to new client? There is, I know user ID. Very good question you have asked. For new client, we have to log in with special user, SAP star, and password is pass. Your question is very good question. Now I have created a new user. What was my user? I have created a new client. You are able to see my screen. Now I want to log in into 100 client. You are absolutely. 100 client doesn't have how to log in into 100 client. To log in into the 100 client, we have to use user SAP star and we have to use password PSS. But it is not reflecting. It means SAP has made secure. We have to log in into the new client with SAP star and password pass. SAP star and password pass. But this parameter has not been enabled. I have to enable this parameter. To enable this parameter, I have to go to ASI10 T code and enable this parameter. I have to change the parameter value. The parameter value says that I will show you what is the parameter value I have to change. Some parameter doesn't require the restart. Some parameter require the restart of the system. Yesterday you were asking why we should restart the SAP system. To change this parameter, we have to restart the system. We can change the parameter using these T codes. What are the T2 T codes? These are the T codes change parameter. You are able to see this is dynamic parameter. No need to restart. No need to restart. Like just now, we have to change the number of sessions. But to change the parameter, static parameter, we have to change from static parameters. We have to change it from ASIC and T code R10. I am going to use ASIC and T code. It is still running. We are going to use ASIC and you said that how to log into the new client. To log in into new client using users SAP star and password passes. Are you able to see to log in into the new client? We can log in into new client with user ID, SAP star and password passes. But parameter login, no automatic user. SAP star should be disabled. This parameter is not allowing us to log in as a SAP star. Login no automatic users SAP star. We have to disable this parameter. This is a static parameter. It means to enable this parameter, we have to restart the system. We are going to see these things. This is still running. I have to change some values there, then it is going to be effective. Change the values in default profile. I have to mention the parameter. The parameter name would be login no. You are able to see my screen there. Yes, no automatic user SAP star. It is saying the value is equal to 1. 1, are you able to see value 1? Able to see value 1. Value 1. Value 1 is showing that it is enabled. It means you cannot log in with user as SAP star. I am going to disable this value. I am going to disable this value, parameter value 0. I am disabling. 1 means enable, 2 means disable. I am disabling this value. After disabling this value, I am going to save the changes. Yes, Simon. Do you want to activate the profile? Are you able to read what it is written here? Can you read? It says you have to restart the application server for change. It should be effective. The effect of activating a profile simply means the profile is stored at OS level. For the profile to take effect for a particular application server, we have to restart the application server. But before we start again, I can try one more time. I can try here. I have a lot. I have opened the session. I will use AP star password. Pass PSS not able to log in. I am not able to log in. What I have to do? I will now exit from all the screens or without exiting. Also, we can just start the system. Automatically, we will get the error. How to start the stop by SAP system? What is the tool name? SAP MMC Microsoft Management Console. You open the Management Console. I have done for TRN system. TRN system, click Restart, hard restart. The user ID TRN team city. The city is TRN idem and I have to give the password. This is the user. This is the user we set up. First start and startup stop yesterday. TRN team correct. Team. We have not set up. It is automatically installed to set up the user. ID. Team and TRN team. Yes, TRN. No, yesterday we have started the GSC system. GSC ADM installed, automatically created, correct. Yes. TRN is earlier, whatever system ID. The user ID would be SADI ADM. Whatever is the city, that will be the 3-letter SID, correct? Yes, 3 city, then ADM would be there. Now I am trying to start the system. Oh, now I think problem. No starting. It takes some time, 2-3 minutes. It takes at least. When everything is green up, then it is now green. Green, everything is green. Now we will try to log in into client 100. Client 100, we do not have any user ID. We will go with SAP star and password pass PSS pass. Now you can see I am able to log in into client 100. Now when I am going to type ELSO 8, I can see how many users are logging into client 100. Client 100, no user is logging. Only SAP star is logging. I want to see how many users are there in client 100. I can run a report as A38 yesterday. We have run a report RCOs are 200. It will show all the users in a particular client. We do not have any user ID. We do not have any user ID here. We do not have any user ID in this client because we have not created any user ID. Got it? Now you have to create a user ID in TR and system client. Now you just log in into the. Now you can log in into the TR and system client 100 only. TR and system client or client zone 1 with your user 1, 2, user 4. You log in into TR and system client 1001 with your user ID 124 with password and go to suser1. Go to user1, T coded, type your name. Type your name and create. Create button. Similar to paper. Similar to paper symbol. You just type your name there and then there is a create button. You create this one and then you fill the mandatory entry, fill mandatory entries. Mandatory entries are last name. Last name is mandatory user, user type, password and profile. Under profile tab, you give the profile. File tab, you give SAP underscore all full authorization. You try to create two users. You try to create two users. You type your name dot d and create button and you create this kind of thing and type your name dot user type. Here do types dialog user, dialog user. Here you type service user and last name, user type. These data will be coming under different tabs. Last name will come under. I just mentioned here. Also, whenever you are going to suser1, and now I am going to create a user, user send your here create button. This is the create button. Create button. It is saying that I just log in into Zolin1 client. Otherwise, you have to then create the company and other those things. I am just logging into Zolin1 clients and jsuser1. Now I want to create GSCUS create. Last name under address and under login data under address tab. Last name under address tab and this user type and password comes under. This data will come under log on data under log tab. Under log on tab and this profile will come under profile tab. Profile will come under profile tab and then you have to fill this organization. You have to create two users. One is service user, one is dialog user, and you are in system 1001 client with both IDs and observe difference. Observe difference between a normal user and difference between dialog and service. Dialog and service, got it. You have to create two types of users. In this exercise, you can create the two types of users. Suser13 is that decode. You can do it and let me know if anybody having any problem. $10 for this activity, 3:50 to 4 PYST, and you first try to create, and if facing any problem, let me know. In this way, you will be able to create the user ID, and then we will discuss about profiles and authorization. First, you try to create this. Guys completed, able to understand the difference between dialog user and service user. I was able to create two user ID. You see my name. Are you able to log in with those IDs and are able to understand what is the difference between normal dialog user and service? Or does the dialog user, on my initial login, there is a new password required. It requires me to change password, and then for the service, it did not require me to change password. How user the initial password which you have created, it was initial password. Service user can be used for multiple users. Whatever the password is created during initial time, it will be between normal dialog and service users. Now I will go to the next topic, that is profiles roles. Yes, any question? When you are creating service user, user ID should be generic, like for your whole group. You are like in IT support. You can create an IT support group ID kind of thing. In case of any problem is coming, that will be having very minimum authorization, very basic authorization, not full authorization. They can lock and log the user ID. Suppose your ID got logged, then at least you can log in with the IT support group ID, and then you can unlock your ID. But Sanjay Easter, a way wherein I can determine who is the particular user, uses this via service ID. User uses that because whenever you are going to log in into the system, you have to use the user ID. You want to see, for example, we are using three of us using service ID, same ID, where you are using same ID, but how can I determine that the job was done by the user one? Then you cannot differentiate. You can differentiate only in that case using the terminal. Suppose you are working from computer number A, he is working from computer number B, computer number C, then they can differentiate. But otherwise, whatever the user ID, we have created user 2 or user 3. Everybody is going to use user 3. You cannot differentiate here, but you can differentiate with the client machine. User 1 is working from computer A, user 2 is working from computer 2, and user 3 is working from computer 3. Then you can see the client host. With that, you can differentiate. Got it? Got it, because everybody is using the same user ID. That user ID system, it is going to show the user ID same, but with the client machine it is showing to the different. Somebody is using machine A, machine B, machine C. You can differentiate from where it is logged in. But here it is showing everyone is training because everyone is logging here. Everyone is logging here. That's why it is showing training client here. We move to the next task. Now what you can do, you can try to log in 5 times, interact log on. Suppose I try to log in with Sanjay user ID. Sanjay user ID is here. Are you able to see Sanjay user ID? I am going to just log off again, log off. Now I will try to log in with Sanjay user ID. Let's see what happened. Sanjay ID type incorrect password 1 time, 2nd time and 3rd time. What will happen? When I type 3rd time incorrect password, what happened? ID 3rd time, what happened? Session out. Session out. To account log? No, not account log, session out. Now, I will again go to here. Now I will attempt 4th time. 4th time incorrect password. 5th time incorrect password. Now what? Now, 6th time I am going to use the password. What it is saying? Are you able to see what it is written downside? Ash right now long, very possible. Too many. Now the account is log. Now the account ID is log. It means at 3 sessions, if you type 3 times incorrect password, the session will be logged out, and 5 times if you type incorrect password, then your session will be. Your account will be logged. How to verify this information? Now Sanjay cannot log in because Sanjay ID got logged. You have to request to the administrator to unlock the Sanjay user ID. Now I will show you how to unlock the user ID. I will log in with different user. ID did it. Go to see user 1. I can type as Sanjay. Are you able to see this? This button lock, a lock button able to see yes. Now I am going to show this one what it is saying. What message? Sanjay ID got logged due to incorrect log on attempts. I can use this button unlock what it. This will unlock the Sanjay user ID now unlocked. Now the Sanjay user ID got unlocked. And everything is parameter. Everything is the parameter. Now we can see the parameter. We can go to the Z11. We can parameter login star. In login star, we can see the parameter, how the phase 2 user lock when a user ID got locked. What is the how many values they have given here? Five. Are you able to see this value? 5. It means if I use a 5 time incorrect password, ID will be logged. We can change it. We can make it to further 100. Sorry, 10, 20, 15. We can change these values also. Everything is configurable. Some settings are as a basis. Consultant. You have to change these values as per your company requirement or company policy, not it. You can make more secure as well as more vulnerable your system. And most of the times guys are just doing it C1001 and they are just lock and log by user ID. Maybe sometimes now Sanjay forget the password. You can change the password also. This button is changed the password. You can change the password for some reason. It's very simple activity. That's why I was telling you that you can learn the basis in 10-15 hours because you guys are experienced guys. It's a like real-time things we can discuss now. The thing is, you have to practice. You have the 24/7 servers available. You can practice. You can see the different ways and you can ask the questions if you are not able to understand something. Sanjay, yes, you said possible to change the lag in attempts. Fed lag in attempts for a particular users. Yes, it is possible to like individual for users also. One is, if you are going to maintain it is global policy, it is journal for everyone, but suppose you want to specify individuals. I want to use for Sanjay user only. That is in advanced user administration. I can. When I am going to create a Sanjay user, I can create a policy. Are you able to see the security policy here? I can mention the security policy. I can create individual policy for individual group of users. Like for management users, there is a different policy or management users different policy. For IT people different policy or sales people different policy. Then I can create a policy and then I can assign the different policy for different users. If I am not going to assign the policy journal, policy is applicable for everyone. That was our user topic. Now we will discuss about an in user. That is another very important thing. GMM sometime S. UIM user information management. In this SUIM, you can see when a user login, at what time, who created a user, ID, everything you can see from here. It is like Ocean User Information System. Here we have all the like. I want to understand which user is having S user code. Which user is having S user code? I can go here user with complex selection criteria, users by transaction authorization. I want to understand which users are having SUSORity code authorization. I will just type SU1. It will show me all the users will be having the SUSORity code. Milby Dinal BS Sanjay SAP star. User 1, 2, 3, 4. Only in illiterate other users I have not created the user ID. Maybe, if you are busy later on, you can create the user ID because until or unless you are not going to perform the task, you will forget. If you did one time the activity, you will always remember. It is very easy to remember. Now we will discuss about authorization rules, how the rules are going to work and how the authorization is going to work in SAP system. Sanjay, regarding to the SIOM, see it possible to extract all the users, including their rules. Yes, all the users you can see here. If you would just go back here, users by address data, users by user ID, users by complex selection criteria. If I say user by user data, address data, I do not fill any name here. It will display all the users. It will display all the users. There are 7 users in client Zalan 1. And then I can export it to Excel sheet or spreadsheet or like in doc format or PDF format. I can. COM is very informative. T-code with that you can display all the information related to users and authorization. Now we will see the authorization security. We will see the authorization in SAP. Now we will see the authorization. For authorization, we have some terms. We have to first understand those terms. First is object class, object class. Then we are having another term known as authorization object. First, we are having object class. Second term, we are having authorization object. Then third term is we are having authorization field, authorization field. And fourth term is we are having authorization, and fifth field is profile, and sixth field is role, and we got user. We have the user ID also. User. We can grant user a profile. A user can contain profile also. A user can contain the role also. User can contain both things. User can contain role as well as profile. Now we come to this very basic concept. What is object class? Object class is a like group of object like. Suppose you want to protect sales order. Sales order is your object that you want to protect. Sales order is your object that you want to protect. Sales order comes under as the class sales and distribution. Sales and distribution. Now under sales order, we are having two fields. One field is company code. Another field is activity. This authorization object. Suppose sales order contains two fields company code and activity. Whatever values you are granting here, it is known as authorization. If I say company code is equal to 1 is for India, 0, 1 for India, and activity is free display. This is one authorization. This is one authorization. Another authorization is 02, Kitaring Care activity 02. You can create also. I am having two authorization user 1, 2. I am having a profile. I just name a profile P. I just make a profile something like profile. This profile is a combination of multiple authorization and profile plus a profile plus menu item. Let's see, this is the complete flow of how the authorization is going to work. You can create a profile, you can create a role. Role will be having the menu item profile, will not be having the menu item profile, is just authorization. Authorization is what? Whatever the field values have been assigned to a particular field, then it is known as authorization. We can create roles and profiles using transaction code. We can create roles. Roles and profiles can be created by this GFC. Able to understand any question, then I am going to show you how to create a role and profile. I think on my side, I am going to show you how to create a role. I go to the transaction code, able to see my SAP screen. I go to PFCG. In PFCG, I will type the role name. I am creating a role, name test role a test role. Then create this button. Create single role. Description role, something then menu item. What would be in the menu of this role? What would be the menu of this role? The menu. I have to decide what would be the menu. In this, we will be having some transaction code. It will be having some URL. I say it will be having some URLs, web address. It will be having Google.com. Text is Google.com, web address would be http Google.com. Like this, it will be having a menu item, Google.com. It will be having a transaction code. You can include a lot of things from here. You can add the favori tile also. You can add the favori tile a transaction code. It will be having a transaction code say 50, SMM51, SMMCC6 like this. This will be the menu item. In menu, when I assign this role that to particular user, ID user will be having the menu. But what is the authorization? Authorization is a combination of profiles. We will come here, authorization tab, then we have, you can see here, do you have any profile name here? Are you able to see any file name here? Each blank. We have to generate the profile. We can go here at change authorization data, then generate the profile, generate the profile. The profile name is this, come automatically. It will come, or you can make your own profile. Then generate the profile. Now the profile has been generated, and you can see here the color is green menu item and authorization is green. Now our test role has been created. Test role has been created. Now I will create a test user. I will create a test user and I will grant this test role to the test user Su1. I am creating a test user. Test user, create a test. Then grant this. This it is saying the initial password is created. Now when I am going to use the test user to log in, test user will be having the menu item as per the role granted to this user test. Are you able to see the menu item? We have created a Google work process. Overview of job selection started as instance like this. They will be having it. Got it. Now you can also create a role and generate the profile, and you can do the hands-on. I am Grant like any question. Now I will assign the test to you. You can yes your user ID is what? Created that file. That's big. Now we have done it to us. Now will be dots. Then added roles. Role name is test role. Enter. Save it, but it will not automatically come. You have to log out and then you log in. Then you are able to see the role. You will be having a Google link earlier in the menu item. Like here in the menu item, you will be having the Google link earlier. You were not able to see that link. You have to log out again. Log in now will be dots with that. Now, then you will be able to see. This is the authorization, how the authorization is going to work in SAP. Very simple, but very complicated when we are having thousands of objects or million of objects. Because when you are going to real life scenario, there will be million or billion of authorization objects. To understand, to segregate the difference, there is a very big team's work in security. Some organization there will be having 100, 500 consultants only for SAP security, but the concept is only this one. And if you are able to understand this concept, object class authorization, object have the feed. Whatever the values assigned to those feed is known as authorization. Multiple authorization makes a profile. Profile plus menu item makes a role. Either profile or role can be granted to the user. Profiles and roles can be created from the transaction code TFCG. Now you can do the hands-on. Because hands-on very important. You try to create a B role in TR system client. Role is also specific to the rows are also specific to the client. You have created a role in Zalimon client, un100 client or whatever client. First you have to go to the PFCGT code. PFCGT code, type your name and in the role name you can create with your name and then create namerole, create button similar to the paper symbol and then you have to in menu item, add web address like Googlecom and transaction codes like S50. After that PFCG added. Here two sections are important. One is menu item, another is authorization. In menu item, tap in menu item. Tabs add web address like Google and transaction codes like this one. Then in authorization tab, generate a profile. Generate a profile, save your role and grant this role. Username in is user1. Take hold log and login and observe the menu item. The menu item of your now you got Google come would be there in your task. You can try to perform this. Guy is able to create the role. Different types of roles. Same way, if I want to see how many rows are there, we can see the rows also from SU IMT code. SU IMT code is very important to code. With that we can find any information. Now I want to see how many roles are there. We can see same way like roles. Here we can see the rows by name. Is it possible to check a roles created within between period of time? Yes, everything is possible. You can see when the role was created. You want to see the role by roles created by today. Yes, you can see roles. Language shown text. You can see the complete information would be there. Object. By field name your question queries. You want to see when today's created role. Yes, and we will try to find by change date roles, by change date created by start date. It is going to show you all 6085. Today it. I want to see today. I just mentioned here change since when the role got changed. Change miss. New role has been created. We can see we have only 3 roles created today, not in different way. Getting my point, not exact your query answer, but the query get answered in this way. We have tried to find whatever changes happen from 17th to 17th miss today. In today, you created and I will be role. I created these 2 roles. Is it possible to have a role and inside that role we will insert another set of roles? We can have a parent role or a group of roles. We can do like you can go to PevC. We can have composite role also pexec. You want to nest it. Now I am creating a test role 1. In test role 1, I want to include another role, that is your query. We can create a composite role here. Composite role is a combination of multiple roles. If I create a composite role, then it is going to ask which role you want to add getting. I can specify test role. I am creating test role 1. Test role 1 is going to having test role plus menu item. Apart from this, I can add additional things. Earlier, I was having additional activities I can mention here, like transaction code or other entries. That is possible. Or we can inheritance also. Inheritance means parent-child kind of relationship. Inheritance means it is taking everything from the parent. But it can just verify some of the things that you can specify. You can do the inheritance also. Inheritance hierarchy. You can see what are the things you are going to copy from the parent role. We can create the roles using PFCG, and we have the codes UIM. With that we can find the information when we are used list change document for roles. Everything you can find it from here. It is going to like, suppose I want to understand test role. Who created test, at what time, what attributes you have added, everything you can find here. The test role created on 18th, 5 time 352 user did I see. He used this transaction code. What he did, he changed some attributes. He created roles, role description, attributes, transaction, added authorization data. What? You can find each and everything. Who is going to like? Who created the role? Who role using transaction code assure 1 to the test user. This is under SUM or under SUM. Under SUM, you can see change document for roles. Here you can see, like for NLP, what was your role name? That's role. That's role. Now we will try to find NLP. We have created a role created by user. These are 3. User created this role. Created role description you have defined. Then you have changed the authorization profile and role assignment for the user. From PFCG, you have assigned the role to the user. You assign role to the user both ways possible. From SU1 also, you can assign or you can assign from the PFCG. Both is possible. How is it? We have covered today post-installation activities configuration, how to change parameter. I will write the T code also. RZ10, it will be easy to remember you guys. RZ11, change the parameter. Post-installation and configuration users, we created using transaction COSIO1. Authorization roles you created using PFC in SCIM, UFC in User Information Management System. And in post-installation configuration, some of the T codes that you have seen, like you have seen CCK consistency check, you have seen S license T code, you have seen SC4 to client create and start stop by ADR. This would be the master document. Even you will be able to. A SAP server post-installation task and configuration. CC case license CC4. You created the client. You changed the parameter using RZN1011 RZ for static parameter and RZMN for dynamic parameter. That does not require the restart. Then today we discussed about users, how to create the users. We have five type of users: dialog user, service user, only dialog and service user can log in. Other users cannot log in, like communication difference and system users cannot log in. Then we have discussed the PFCG SUVM. Next session we are going to see monitoring, task proactive monitoring, how you have to monitor the system. We will see the transport management also. We will see then database administration, task fetching and today we discussed these things. We discussed post-installation task configuration, changing parameters, how to create users' roles, profiles and user information management. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.